Two of the most powerful smartphones of 2026 are going head-to-head today, the iPhone 17 and the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. But the real question is, which one is actually better for gaming? Can both devices really handle 120 FPS gameplay? Let's start with PUBG Mobile. And right away, both phones delivered 120 FPS experience. From the moment the match began, gameplay felt fast and extremely stable. Movement, aiming all felt instant with no noticeable lag. And just to be clear, both the iPhone 17 and the Galaxy S26 Ultra were tested under the same conditions, and the performance was almost identical in PUBG Mobile. But reaching 120 FPS in PUBG Mobile isn't the real challenge anymore. The real test begins when we move to heavier games with higher graphics and longer stress sessions. Now let's move on to Fortnite. At first glance, the iPhone 17 looks extremely strong. The game actually reaches 120 frames per second in some moments, and the overall gameplay feels very smooth and responsive. But there's a catch. That 120 frames per second isn't fully stable, dropping closer to around 90 frames per second at times. Now, switching to the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra, the experience is different. However, the frame rate doesn't reach the same peak as the iPhone. It stays around 60 frames per second max. After checking further, it turns out Fortnite seems to be better optimized on iOS. And this is a point where the iPhone deservedly wins. Now let's move on to Call of Duty. Both phones reached 120 frames per second on low to medium graphics settings. At higher graphics settings, both were limited to around 60 frames per second. However, the Samsung Galaxy offered the better experience, staying cooler during longer sessions and maintaining more consistent performance thanks to its larger cooling system. The iPhone 17 still performed well, but ran slightly warmer under heavy load. So after testing across multiple games, the result is clear. If your priority is the highest possible FPS and stronger optimization in games like Fortnite, the iPhone 17 takes the lead.